Why did I come to Canada? Why did I choose Calgary? Do I have any regrets? In this video, I talk about my life's journey and my experience moving from Nigeria to Canada. I decided to make this video for those who find themselves in situations in which I found myself some few years ago. Stay tuned. Hello, I'm Toby Erinle. I'm a Nigerian resident in the province of Alberta here in Canada. If you're new to my channel, I make videos like this talking about life in Canada and what I've experienced so far in my years of living here. If you're interested in moving to Canada anytime in the future, or you're just curious to know what life is like over here, you may want to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notifications so you never miss any videos I make. Thank you for doing that. If you live in Nigeria or anywhere outside Canada and you're considering coming to live, study or work here in Canada, I have a bonus tip that would save you a lot of money. Just stick around till the end of this video. I had always wanted to live abroad. I had always wanted to live in the United States of America, Just growing up watching those American movies made me feel like life abroad was soft. As at 2014, when I was done with my master's degree in the University of Ibadan, I had no idea that a country called Canada existed. I'm just joking, but I had no clue I was ever going to come to Canada because I had never dreamt about Canada in my life. I had just finished my master's degree. It was 2014, and I was seriously searching for a job without any success. It was really frustrating. I had interviewed with most of the top companies in Nigeria, from Nigerian breweries to Chi to NNPC to DPR to Unicel and so many other companies, and in some cases I got to like the final stage of the interview and then I failed. So the frustration was setting in at this point, and I didn't know how long I could keep doing this. I didn't know if I was ever going to get a job in Nigeria. And just so to be clear, I am not the dull type. I am not the most brilliant, but I would say I am a bit above average. Right from my primary school days, I was always ranking between maybe 3rd position in class to 10th position somewhere. I was always hovering somewhere around there. So this is just to let you know that the problem wasn't that I wasn't qualified. The problem wasn't that I wasn't brilliant enough to get a job. It just wasn't coming. The job market in Nigeria is really saturated, and it takes a lot for you to, actually nail that job that you really want. I prayed a lot. I fasted a lot. All to no avail. So in 2015, one of my aunties sent me a link to something called the Express Entry. Express Entry is one of the immigration programs Canada runs, and she told me to try it out. I did look at it. It was really complicated to me. I created a profile, but after a while, I just put it aside and I never went back to it. I abandoned it because I had zero idea. I had zero knowledge on how to get the documents or every other thing that was required of me. Fast forward to 2016. 2016 was a good year. In February of that year, I met my wife, and in September we started dating officially. So this was the year I started to, my mentality changed, and I started to actually think about what I really wanted for my life. As God would have it, in December of 2016, for the very first time in my life, I had the opportunity to go for a wedding in South Africa, and it was also my first time being in a plane. This was the best trip of my life because I traveled with my mom, my aunties, my uncles, my cousins, my friends, and we all went for my cousin's wedding. We all lived together in a block of apartments, so it was like really fun. Everyone knew everybody. It was really good. We stayed in a city called Stellenbosch, in University of Stellenbosch. So we stayed in one of the apartments, and that's where my cousin schooled, and that's where he worked. It was really nice. It was really good. For the very first time in my life, I actually lived abroad life, even though I was in Africa. I saw what was called four-way stop for the first time. I saw people obey zebra crossing. There were basic amenities. There was always lights 24/7. There was water. There was everything. And man, I was in love. This started to change how I felt about life. I came back to Nigeria after the wedding in January of 2017, and I was just angry. I was angry because I was back to my life of frustration, searching for a job, always waiting for NEPA to bring the light so I could work. I'm going out and people are just pressing the horn horn, it gets me mad because I'd already been to a place where people don't use horns. Everything was just getting me angry. Like I had to go fetch water, like when I was opening the tap for the past 2 weeks and water was just coming up. So at this point, I had tasted something better and I knew I wanted something better for myself. And it was at this stage of my life I started to contemplate leaving Nigeria for greener pastures. So fast forward to 2017. In this year, I took a loan and I bought new camera equipment to, double my hustle. At this stage, I knew I wanted to leave Nigeria, but I had zero idea or zero knowledge on how I was going to go about it. So I felt what I could do at this stage was to, improve my hustle, get more clients, be better at what I did. And of course, I got better. Things started to get better for me. I got better clients, I got bigger jobs, big weddings in Ibadan and in Lagos. Then for the second time, my cousin sent me a link again. And this time it was a link also on how to immigrate to Canada. He was also in the process and he sent it to me thinking it would be beneficial to me. I had the link, but this time the problem was that I was already doing quite well in my photography business and I was already getting busy. So I didn't even have so much time to spend. So the moment I went through the link he sent, I just put it aside and I continued with my business and stuff. Like I was getting jobs almost every Saturday. I was having people come over for photo shoots or call me over to them. I had birthdays, I had different events. So I was already getting busy at this point. So I didn't want anything to put me off track or distract me. Also in this year, 2017, I applied for a US visa for the first time ever. I applied saying I wanted to attend my friend's wedding in the US. And surprisingly, I was granted the visa. I got to the embassy that day, I would never forget, and the immigration officer or whatever they are called, he just asked me 3 simple questions. He asked me what kind of equipment I use. He asked me why I use those particular type of equipment, and he asked me how much I make from the events I cover. Those were 3 questions he asked me, and I answered him, and then he was like, okay. And then he approved my application, and they told me to come back, to get my visa. And that was like really, really strange to so many people because they're like, what did I do? How did I go about it? So many people were denied that day, but I got it. But I had that visa. I didn't have money to travel, and that visa expired in my passport. Well, that's a story for another day. So now we're in 2018, and in March of 2018, I told you my cousin sent me a link in 2017 to apply, blah, blah. In March of 2018, my cousin got approved to travel to Canada as a permanent resident, himself and his wife. And in March, I escorted him to the airport. I actually saw him with my eyes, like flying away and leaving Nigeria for good. And while I was really happy for him, for the first time I felt in my mind like this could have been me. Like if I had taken all these links that people were sending to me, if I had taken them seriously, maybe this would have been me, flying out by now. And for the first time I saw that this thing was possible. I had seen someone I know, someone I talked to going through this same process and leaving Nigeria. And so I felt like maybe now was the time to take this thing really seriously. In August of the same year, I got my first destination wedding, and it was to Cape Town, South Africa. So I traveled to South Africa. I stayed with my cousin for 2 weeks. I documented the event. But the best part of this trip was the fact that I was able to talk to some of my cousin's friends. And, they gingered me like never before. Like, I remember one of them telling me, like, I had to take my skills to places where I'll be better appreciated. Another one told me, like, if you were to advise me, you would say I should just stay back. I should not go back to Nigeria, and stuff. So these guys shared their stories with me, shared how they started from nothing and how they came to South Africa and how they built wealth for themselves, how they changed the course of their lives. This made me to start to think too in that line. This made me to start to think, okay, maybe this is time for me to, seek greener pastures, go to where my skills will be appreciated, go to places where I can do better for myself, and go to places where I can be the best version of myself. I came back to Nigeria more gingered than ever before. I was so gingered, and then I just called my babe and I was like, I think it is time for us to start now. So 2018, without wasting much time, we started the process. The major motivation for us was greener pastures and better opportunities. So we dedicated about 1 hour every night. We gave it everything we had. We were also praying every night too. And And I'll just pause at this point to speak to people who are in this phase of their life. I know people would always say stuff like, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. I know when we're about to travel to, people also say stuff like, oh, a lizard in Nigeria isn't going to just transform to become a crocodile when it goes abroad. So you get discouraging tones, you hear people say discouraging things, but you have to listen to your heart. You have to listen to what your mind is telling you. And you also have to be prayerful. If you're in this phase and you feel like there is a better version of you that can be expressed outside of Nigeria, then go for it. Like, you don't have to wait for anyone, or you don't have to seek anyone's approval. While I'm not denying the fact that there are challenges here, while I'm not denying the fact that people go through real problems, real troubles when they come here, I would say you don't let these things discourage you. You come here yourself, see if you like it. If you like it, you stay. If you don't like it, then you go back. So it was 2019 and we're fully into the process. We got our invitation to apply. We started to put funds together, started to gather all our documents. We went through the application. Everything was smooth. And yeah, we decided to get married in April in the registry. And later that same year, we got married in November. We did our traditional and our white wedding. And God was just good through it all. We got our confirmation on our wedding day, and a few days after we went to Lagos to get our documents, and just like that we became Canadian permanent residents. The reason we chose Calgary was simple. It was because I have a cousin who lives here and who was willing to host us upon landing. It's not like we had ever been to Canada before, so I didn't even know any other province or any other place. So I just had to listen to everything my cousin said, and we did our own little research too, checked about Calgary, checked about Alberta. You know, Alberta is like a good place to live, a good place to raise your family. Calgary is one of the safest cities to live in. You know, we check things like that. And yeah, so if you be coming to Canada and you have someone to stay with, it's such a blessing, because if you be coming and you have nobody, you'll be spending like, say, almost $2,000, if not more, on accommodation for just a month. So do I regret coming to Canada? I think the only regret I might have right now is not coming sooner. Yeah. This is not to say that Canada is a perfect place, like no challenges, everything is just smooth. No. But you will never hear it from me telling someone that, oh, don't come here, it's not good. Never. I definitely don't regret coming to Canada, and I just want to advise anyone sitting on the fence who is trying to decide. I know so many people are in the UK now. Their original dream was to come to Canada, but because of how difficult everything was coming here, they decided to settle for the UK. If Canada is still your dream, you can still pursue it. Canada, I've never been to the UK, but I've lived here, and I know like here is a very good place. It gives you so much opportunities. If you have a Canadian passport, you have so much power in your hands. If you've had people send you links, or you've seen information online saying ways to immigrate to Canada, and you're just feeling so reluctant to try because you feel like there is no money, it's capital intensive, you don't know where to get the documents or how to get the documents, you can take it at least one step at a time. You can ask questions, you can do your own research. And I tell you, like, this thing is just one step at a time, just one step at a time. And before you know it, you're in Canada. I know people who started their Canada journey, and within 4 months they were already in Canada. Like, that's how quick it was for them. So for some people it is quick, and for some other people it takes time, but whichever way, it's just always good to try. If you don't shoot the shot, you won't score the goal. For those who waited till the end of this video, I promise to give you a tip that would save you a lot of money. So this tip is for those who plan to come to Canada, maybe later this year or later in the future. So if you plan to come to Canada to either live or to study or to work, please make sure you come with all your driving records, your driver's license, and your insurance history. Failing to come with this is going to cost you a lot of money because you'll be paying so much for insurance. So I'll use myself as an example. When I came in here and I was going to start driving, I was getting insurance quotes for almost $6,000 for full insurance. I ended up settling for third-party insurance, which was about $3,600. And this was simply because I had no history and no experience. According to them, I was a new driver. and so I had to pay more. So if you come in with these documents, you'll be able to negotiate better deals and you'll be able to get your insurance at a better rate. I tell you, like, it's not even funny paying $3,600 or maybe paying $6,000 in a year for insurance. It's a lot of money. So if you come in with these documents, you'll be able to get insurance brokers who will be able to do it for you at a way cheaper price, and you'll be able to get better deals. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel right now and turn on the notification icon so you don't miss any of my future videos. If you also know people who will be coming to Canada later in the future, please share this video with them so they have an idea as to what living in Canada feels like. Now I want to turn it over to you. What is stopping you from chasing your relocation dream? Let's talk in the comment section. If you haven't seen my previous videos, the link should be on your screen right now. Thank you very much, and until next time guys, peace out.